You're hitting them good, Jay. Have you ever played golf in the snow before?
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm just going to try to practice for all my life and see what it ends up to. Hopefully I'll be good enough to go to the tour.
Good shot, Big J.
Give me a racket and watch me go. Because I won't come back the same.
Sometimes I'll come back with scratches and scrapes.
Or with stories of great shots and close shaves.
Of wins for the history books.
And of losses I'll never forget.
But watch me smile.
Say good game.
And put my racket away for now, but not for good.
Because I'll have seen what I can do.
And I know greatness
Greatness is waiting.
Sign up with Net Generation, official youth tennis of the USTA.
Nearly all profits from Bloomberg LP go to Bloomberg Philanthropies, which is dedicated to saving and improving lives around the world. So when you work for or with Bloomberg, you're doing a whole lot of good. Learn more about our good work at Bloomberg.org.
World Team Tennis is brought to you by Wilson. Get the best gear in the game. By DecoTurf, official tennis court surface of World Team Tennis and the official surface of the U.S. Open since 1978. By Forevermark. Less than 1% of the world's diamonds are worthy of the Forevermark inscription. Forevermark, a diamond is forever. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. So wonderful to be back in Chicago, and great you could be with us for World Team Tennis. Eve Shiras alongside Renee Stubbs will get you caught up again on the rules. Remember, no ad scoring. Each game could be decided by a single point, and each game does count to the final score, so you got to keep adding games to your team's tally. Substitutions are allowed. Lets are in play. So like junior tennis, like college tennis, it's fast action. You have to be ready when that ball clips the tape.
Yeah, it'll be interesting tonight because we're in Chicago. These people that are watching, I would say 95% of the crowd tonight don't know the rules, so it's going to be interesting to see how they react to this time of a format. But this facility here in Chicago, it's just fantastic, and Kamal Murray is the reason for it coming here. And you look at the World Team Tennis formats with 2 men, 2 women, 1 coach, singles, doubles, and mixed doubles. The sets at a 5, 9-point tiebreak at 4 all, and the home team selects the order of play. And tonight, the home team is the Philadelphia Freedoms. And so Craig Carden gets to choose the way the format is this evening.
Of course, what's interesting, we talk about no ad scoring in the games. A 9-point tiebreaker could come down to a single point. Murphy Jensen, he's been in World Team Tennis for 20 years, and 3 times he's been Coach of the Year, leading this squad to the titles. Of course, they're in the hunt for number 7, which would break a tie with the Sacramento Capitals, who also have 6 titles. That was back at the turn of the century, 1997 through 2000. A couple of other additional years. So the Kastles are chasing history, and they've got a good man at the helm.
They certainly do. I mean, Murphy's been a part of teams that have been very, very successful, 2 unbeaten teams back-to-back. But he's also been in teams that have struggled. Actually, the first year that the Kastles won, I was a part of that team, and we didn't dominate that year, but we certainly grinded our way through the season. So he's had teams that have done really well, have grinded out wins, have done exceptionally well, and teams that have not played that well. So he's been a part of it all.
And that's where each year can be so dramatically different. Suddenly Philadelphia is looking very strong, playing so well. Oh, and there's Mark Gine. He's in the house. I wasn't sure he was going to make it. We were just in D.C. last evening, and D.C. was taking on Springfield on the exact same night that, well, the Kastles won their first title in 2009.
Yes.
So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I got that up on my Facebook page today.
There's Craig Carden.
Memories of 9 years ago.
Yeah, pretty exciting. And Springfield got a little bit of revenge for the Kastles beating the Lasers in the championship match years ago.
I got a bit of history on this court tonight because Craig Carden, the last time the Philadelphia Freedoms won the WTT title, he was my coach on that team. That was back in 2006. So it's been a long time since the Freedoms have won. And then Murphy I was on that team when they won their first title in the Kastles. So, so basically what I'm saying is those two guys are happy that maybe I'm in the house tonight. I don't know.
Well, you're only going to say good things about them as a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cardin's been with Delaware, New Jersey, Atlanta. He worked with the USTA for a number of years. Coached Coco Vandeweghe, Anna Ivanovic, Martina Navratilova, Lindsay Davenport, Lisa Raymond. So Cardin comes with a boatload of experience. Invaluable to have that kind of guidance with so much pressure on. All right, we're kicking it off with mixed doubles. Fabrice Martin of the Freedoms. He's alongside Taylor Townsend. The Freedoms, the home team, serving first. There's Robert Lindstedt of the Kastles. And Lindstedt is alongside Nicole Melikar. Recent great success at Wimbledon for Nicole.
So both of these teams have been very good this year. There's not a lot of weaknesses on this team as far as serving is concerned. Both of the women serve very well for their teams.
Kind of a nervy point. First 2 points, really, from the Freedoms. Fabrice Martin, he's out of France, but graduate of the IMG Academy in Bradenton, still resides there, plays his tennis out of Florida.
All right, so another good serve there. Taylor Townsend, 22 years of age and born and raised here in Chicago. Resides now in Atlanta, where she trains out of. She trained under the tutelage of Kamal Murray, who put this facility together for a long time. She's one of the reasons why they have this here. It's also the reason why Kamal Murray has a relationship with Billie Jean King, because Taylor went into the meeting at the US Open a number of years ago and with the idea to bring this tennis facility with the education and be a part of Chicago. The balls have gone behind the...
Yeah, just trying to collect that. Make sure we've got enough ammunition.
Don't worry, Robert. Plenty of balls on the court.
Now he's got too many. But he's got a game point at 3-1. That's a great serve. And that is a tough one to read. You expect the pace. He throws in that spinner.
Yeah, and with his height, the ball bounces off of the court a lot higher than it does with it.
Here's Robert Lindstedt. He was a substitute last year for DC, committed to the season full-time this year. He's 41 years of age. So he's in the same camp with Leander Paes, Daniel Nestor, Bob and Mike Bryan, guys who are playing into their 40s and playing well. Resides in Stockholm. Very powerful player. I mean, you played against him, Renee. You know the firepower he possesses.
I played with him. I played with Robert a number of Grand Slams, actually, and he, one of the things that he has is a very big kick serve and a really good pure hitter of the ball, particularly on return. So if he's seeing the ball well, he can hit some pure shots.
Lindstedt needed to be quick on the volley. Townsend did well. But the Swede is able to finish. There's Nicole, 24 years of age and coming off some of the finest moments of her young career. Born in Czech Republic, now residing down in Stuart, Florida.
Yep, born in the same city as the late, great Jana Novotná. Whoa. Taylor got excited because that was a really good return. She got it low. Tried to do a little too much with that backhand. Remember, it's cumulative scoring. Every game counts. And lets are in play. So if that ball had gone in, either player from the Freedoms can hit that. Oh, it's an unbelievable serve.
It sure was. He was trying to get out of the way of it, much less make a return, but that's the kind of tennis Lindstedt could produce. A committed gym rat is Lindstedt. He's in great shape, used all of his strength to get up to that serve. So it's Taylor Townsend, her turn now to serve. What a season she's having. You know, one reason I think she's playing so well is she's improved her ranking, yes, but she's played a lot of tennis matches. Not necessarily on the WTA, but on the ITF, and she's been winning.
Yeah.
And that creates a lot of confidence and that belief, and she shows it this season. What a year she's having.
Craig Carden doing some ball girling and ball boying. Shouldn't call him a ball girl, but he moved. He was a little slow off the mark there. Great lob there from Taylor Townsend.
Yeah, that's one way to deal with some heavy pace coming at you. She just curled some spin over the top.
Oh, I just want to refer back to the fact that ball girls are not slow. Just Craig's old.
Good clarification.
There, thanks.
Nice move. Now, was that a planned move? Did Taylor know that Fabrice was going to cross?
Well, he likes to plug the middle, so it's likely that he just did that on his own. Let's take a look at the replay. Yeah, he just did that on his own, and the reason I know that is because Taylor didn't move.
Right.
Gee, that's a great kick serve when she gets it in. So difficult to read.
We've played on a number of various hard courts this year, obviously Deco turf surface. And this one seems to be a little slower, more high bouncing than some of the courts we played on. I know in DC at the Smith Center, Kastles Stadium, it's fairly quick, fast, low bouncing. This one seems to have a little more play.
This is along the lines of an Indian Wells, Miami, this court.
So a good hold of serve by Taylor Townsend. Nicole now will have her first serve coming up. Kastles and the Freedoms, the only match on the schedule tonight in World Team Tennis. I guess this is sort of an interesting match this evening in that we've got lines people tonight. We don't have Hawkeye Live.
Yeah, because this is a one-off, putting this stadium up for this match here in Chicago. That's why, not the permanent Hawkeye.
Yeah, how tough is it for Taylor Townsend to return with Lindstedt at the net right there? Does that influence her to maybe make that error?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're constantly worrying about what is the man going to do? Is he going to move? Is he going to stay? And he has so much more reach. And Nicole Mellicar has a big serve. You can see right there. The players are going to take a little bit to getting used to this court. As you said, Leaf, it's a little bit different pace than what they're used to.
Now, you mentioned Indian Wells in Miami. Those are fairly slow hard courts. This time is that Mark Ein doing a little ball boy work on his end of the court.
Taylor just not ready on that occasion. That was a good get from Robert Lindstedt. The 41-year-old still got some moves. Good reactions here.
Yeah, that did get on Taylor very quickly.
Yeah, great serving again.
Boy, what a combination of plays that was. A finishing volley by Lindstedt. The Kastles get a second game. We're out of the blocks here in Chicago.
So you just walk around telling people Geico could help them save money on car insurance?
Yeah, that, and homeowners, renters, motorcycle and boat insurance.
Huh, that's nice. What happens when you catch a fish?
Geico, more than just car insurance. See how much you could save at geico.com.
I'm okay!
As people who love the outdoors, we know what we stand for. We stand for fish, wildlife, and conserving the places they call home. We stand for the traditions we inherited and that we must pass on. We stand for great gear, fair prices, expert service, and memorable experiences. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we stand together for you.
Two of the longest running World Team Tennis franchises squaring off in Chicago, the Kastles and the Freedoms. Boy, it looks to be a good one. We're just getting started. 2 games all in the evening's first event, the mixed doubles. Of course, Sloane Stephens is on deck. Remember, women's doubles next.
Oh, just to, oh, it's in. Wow.
Top spin lob winner. Boy, when you've got time and you can see the bottom of the ball, that really helps.
Yeah, and the key with this situation now is that the players all have seen each other serve once. They've got used to the speed of the court, so this will be a more difficult game to hold. That's a good serve. So now you have to be more strategic of how you serve, because you know your opponent's at least seen a couple of your serves, and the professional players pick up on things quickly.
Yeah, Martin is the tallest man in the match tonight, 6 feet 6 inches. Using that height well with his serve.
Oh, that kick serve is so good. I mean, if anything, they need to adjust to that. And if he hits it big, at least you give yourself a chance to get your racket on the ball, take a shorter swing. But when the kick serve gets up above your shoulder, it's over. Nicole Mellicott should be way inside that baseline trying to get this kick serve back.
She got a good position. It's still bounced out of the strike zone. It's got some nasty spin on it, that's for certain. Fabrice Martin, he's playing in his 3rd year. And he was Rookie of the Year in his first year back in 2016. All right, there's another game for the Freedoms. As Lindstedt unable to get that one back into play. I mentioned these 2 long-running franchises. The Freedoms, they've been around for 19 years, a couple of titles in 2001 and 2006. And you were a part of one of those, right?
At the Freedoms?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2006, the last one that they won. Actually, I won 2 for the Freedoms.
2001?
Not me, I mean. I had teammates, some pretty good ones. Lisa Raymond amongst both of those with me. There's Mayor Emanuel.
Great to see the mayor supporting tennis and supporting this wonderful nonprofit center here.
He's been
Chicago.
unbelievable in his support of this facility. It's been quite incredible. The city of Chicago have been behind this facility. Billie Jean King has been really behind this facility from the get-go. His wife Amy to his right. Billie Jean is in the box next to them.
What a play from Townsend. And Billie Jean is on her feet. Remember, she's a part owner of this Freedom franchise, and she's excited about that. Look at the smile on her face.
Look at her. Oh, that's awesome. And to Billie's right and to the left is Mark Walter, who's also the owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And he lives here in Chicago, and he's been an amazing supporter of this facility as well. So everybody's in the house. Everybody that's been a part of this dream, he's there to Billie's right. Mark Walter, his wife, is actually in the front right. Spent a few years living here at Leaf, so I got to know all of these characters quite well, and their support of this tennis facility and bringing it's a $17 million tennis facility to the south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing what it's going to do for this community.
Yeah, we're in the Washington Park neighborhood, obviously founded in '05 by Kamal Murray.
Originally from a $90,000 loan from his parents that said, we're going to loan it to you, but we want it back. And that was at a different, smaller facility about 2 miles from here. And it's not only tennis, but tennis and education, and it's a pathway to college for so many kids in Chicago. Great volley.
And we talked to Kamal today, and he was saying that 47 kids have qualified for college scholarships coming out of this tennis program in this community. So the youth mentoring is a big part of it, and one of the most successful parts of it.
Yeah, and a lot of those kids, original kids that he had in his program, they're here tonight.
That was an interesting play. Instead of a finishing volley, it's a deciding point.
Yeah, that was not a good volley from Robert Lindstedt. I mean, he should have just drilled that through the middle of the court. Particularly because he was going back to the guy as well.
Yeah.
If you're going to hit that, you have to drill that through the woman, even if Taylor gets it back again.
Straight ahead, you're right. Here's a Geico timeout. Murphy Jensen having a quick word with Lindstedt and Melikar. Obviously, every game is so vital. You don't want to waste a moment. You want to make sure you're on the same page, you're doing the right things. Where do you think he will go with this serve? Obviously, gender to gender in the mixed doubles.
Yeah, I think he'll go to the backhand. Oh, it's too good. That was drilled to the backhand body. There's nothing that Martin could do except what he did, which was make the he actually made a good return. But that's why you play I formation. You take away the middle part of the court, because most players want to hit to the biggest part of the court.
Yep.
And that's why players play right there and they hold that position.
And obviously the net is lower there too, so that's the high percentage play. And just getting the ball into play is a small victory when you're going up against big servers like this. But here's Taylor Townsend serving now in the 7th game. I mentioned how Taylor really built her top 100 ranking thanks to success on the ITF. She won tournaments in Sumter, South Carolina. That was on a hard court. Charleston, South Carolina. That was on clay. Dothan, Alabama. That was on clay. Now she's 73. She's going to have direct entry throughout most of the rest of the season. So lots of opportunities opening up for her. Boy, this is some really good tennis.
Yeah, that's where you get a bit into trouble trying to take too big a swing there. You just need to keep your racket head up and take a little off that pace. That's where you need to have some feel rather than trying to hit it too hard. Particularly when the ball's hit at you that hard, you just need to use the pace a little more.
Quality exchange again. Taylor Townsend dishing out some pace, but also absorbing some pace.
Yeah, and I'm just looking down. Just looking down. I just love Billie Jean King so much. I mean, she's literally out of her chair every single point when they win a point. Oh, that's a laser return.
Wow.
And that's the actual easier return to hit. When a server that is a lefty serves into the forehand body of a righty, this is actually the easier return to hit.
Yeah, wonderful hit. I mean, the Wimbledon result in doubles, the final. She also won the mixed doubles. It wasn't a one-off. I mean, she's had a great year. Finals in Stuttgart. She won the title in Prague and 3 other semifinals.
It's just such a good serve.
So Melikar is really putting it together. She's playing with Kaveta Peshke, who played with a number of different teams in World Team Tennis over the years. And you were a teammate of hers, weren't you?
Taylor's?
Kaveta Peshke.
Oh, Kaveta's, yes, sorry. Yeah. Kansas City, we played for.
Yeah, she played for New York and San Diego and Philadelphia.
Yeah, we lost in the finals. That's too good. Again, Melikar's on fire with the return, and unfortunately for Taylor, she has to serve back to Melikar because it is gender to gender.
Now, what will she do with this first serve? It's a vital point. A break point, a game point.
I think she's going to go with the forehand, and I think Martin will look for the line. Exactly what that was happening, but she missed the serve. I missed his sign on that one.
Oh, what a point from Lindstedt. And there is the first breakthrough of the evening, the Kastles.
Yeah, that was as good a point as you could possibly play. Taylor hit the most unbelievable second serve. I think the mistake she made was actually going at Lindstedt. In most opportunities, you probably go to the net player in this circumstance, but with Melikar still on the baseline, I feel like you have to go to the person on the baseline. Yeah. And that was the mistake she made. She took on the guy instead of taking on the woman, and as my old doubles partner Todd Woodridge would say, don't play the guy, Renee. Sometimes it's your more natural shot and you have to, but on most occasions, even though I'm not saying the woman's not as good, but the guy's just a bit stronger. That's unlucky. It's like the perfect net cord.
Yeah, we were talking about Billie Jean King out of her seat. Mark Ein, owner of the Kastles, he's sitting on the bench. He's been up and pretty active as well. Also to Billie Jean King's left, there's Chris Renner, the new CEO of World Team Tennis. He's been brought on to sort of explore further possibilities of this great tennis league.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to have a full-time team here in Chicago? They are desperate for tennis. Obviously, later on this year, we're having the Labour Cup here in Chicago. And apparently it's doing very well in ticket sales.
I can imagine. Great lineup of players.
That Roger guy, Rafa?
Yeah.
No, is Rafa playing? I'm not sure. Roger's definitely playing. Nick Kyrgios, Del Potro.
Taylor Townsend getting the best of that exchange.
Billy's got her jacket off now. She's getting serious. Unbelievable. 2 double faults back to back on that second court. And you see Taylor Townsend started to make the move, because if that ball goes in the court, she can actually hit it.
So another Geico timeout. Murphy Jensen, Robert Lindstedt just having a chat with Mellicar. There's Craig Carden, obviously talking with the Freedom. The Laver Cup, just mentioning that. Anderson, John Isner, Diego Schwartz, all added to the world team to take on Europe.
Oh. That's unbelievable. 3 double faults from Nicole.
And really, the serve is one of her best plays.
It is her best.
Is that nerves, you think, or just not feeling good on the serve?
Maybe.
So 9-point tiebreak. So you can hear the man on the PA. First team to 5. Like the game score, it could come down to a single point. So Fabrice Martin will serve first. 2 points to serve.
T, and Taylor's going to, no, Taylor's going to go to her right. He changed that play.
Some good aggressive play from Lindstedt. And he represents a long line of great Swedish doubles players. Jonas Björkman, Mats Wilander and Joachim Nyström, they won Wimbledon. Stefan Edberg, Anders Garrett.
That's a good ball. Let's make a concerted effort to really go to that backhand volley and not let the ball play you. When you get nervous, that's what happens. The feet don't move up to the volley.
Tough serve, lots of spin, really kicks off this hard court surface. Played college tennis at Fresno State and at Pepperdine. Two-time All-American is the Swede.
That's a big overhead. Aggressive from Robert Lindstedt throughout this set.
Yeah, the teams will change ends after the 4 points played. A little bit of Pete Sampras about that, although not as much elevation as the maestro, Pete Sampras. So just a few words of support and advice as the teams swing by the benches. You mentioned the Freedoms have been around 19 years. The Kastles have been around 11 years. And in that 11 years time, they've won 6 titles.
Yeah. Well, it's really been a lot of that is a labor of love from Mark Iron, the owner, bringing the right players to play for his team and his city. Born and raised and lives in Washington. That's Murphy Jensen. So this is a big point now.
Lindstedt will not be happy with that return.
So some pressure on the second serve. Well, it was there. The line was there. Robert moved, and Taylor knew it and just dumped that one in the net.
Yeah, she had a lot of space to work with, but you've got to take care of the net. There's Mark Iron. University of Penn at the Wharton School, also a Harvard Business School man. Very smart, very passionate about his tennis and his DC community. Boy, that's a good set of tennis. And Mellikar and Lindstedt, who lost the advantage at 4-3, lost Mellikar's serve, they make up for it in the tiebreak. So DC takes the opening set, 5-4. That's what it looks like so far. When we come back, it's women's doubles. Our first look at our US Open champion, Sloane Stephens.
Still nervous about finding a new apartment?
Yeah, but popping these things really helps me relax. Please don't. I'm saving those for later.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about renter's insurance. Just go to Geico.com.
Geico helps with renter's insurance. It's good to know.
Been doing it for years.
That's really good to know. I'll check them out.
Get to know Geico and see how easy homeowners and renters insurance can be.
World Team Tennis is back for another season of hard-hitting action on ESPN.
So many great points in this one.
July 21st, the New York Empire head to the nation's capital to take on Francis Tiafoe and the 6-time WTT champion Washington Kastles.
Incredible point.
Then, on August 5th, the league's 2 best teams battling out in the championship final for the King Trophy. Don't miss New York Empire versus Washington Kastles, July 21st, and the WTT final, August 5th, presented by Geico.
Oh, you're hitting them good, Jay. Have you ever played golf in the snow before? Oh, my goodness.
I'm just going to try to practice for all my life and see what it ends up to. Hopefully I'll be good enough to go to the tour.
Good shot, Big J.
Give me a racket and watch me go. Because I won't come back the same.
Sometimes I'll come back with scratches and scrapes.
Or with stories of great shots and close shaves.
Of wins for the history books.
And of losses I'll never forget.
But watch me smile.
Say good game.
And put my racket away for now, but not for good.
Because I'll have seen what I can do.
And I know greatness
Greatness is waiting.
Sign up with Net Generation, official youth tennis of the USTA.
Nearly all profits from Bloomberg LP go to Bloomberg Philanthropies, which is dedicated to saving and improving lives around the world. So when you work for or with Bloomberg, you're doing a whole lot of good. Learn more about our good work at Bloomberg.org.
Players from 14 countries across 6 different teams, 43 matches over 3 weeks. Who will make their mark in the race for the championship and the coveted King Trophy? This year's most valuable players, 1 male, 1 female. The Forevermark MVP Awards unfold during the World Team Tennis Finals.
So the opening set of the mixed doubles goes to the Kastles 5-4, and a chance for us to catch up with Robert Lindstedt, who was so instrumental in that set. Robert, you've really played well this season. Talk about what was the key in that particular set.
Can I say the last point? Is that all right?
Yes, you can. You can.
But I mean, you guys saw it. It's extremely bouncy here. The kick is absolutely insane, so it's very, very difficult to return. We managed to, Nikki played an unbelievable service game to break, and then sadly we didn't finish it there. But
can you tell your coach to move? Can you tell the coach?
Murphy.
Hey, Murphy, get out of the shot.
Or I'll just move. It's fine.
Thanks, Robert.
but then in the break we came up with a couple of good returns and stayed solid on our serve, and it's what you got to do. Robert,
you're in a new city, Chicago. How does it feel to be here, first of all, and bringing the team to this part of Chicago for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not from the States. I've never been to Chicago. I always wanted to see it, but I'm not going to get to see much. So, but it's nice to be at the home of Wilson. I'll be happy to see those boys if they're here.
Look at you, always taking care of your sponsors.
Hey, Robert, good congrats, and best of luck further into the evening.
Thank you very much.
All right, Robert Lindstedt doing a great job.
It is the home of Wilson. He is correct. If you take a car ride out to O'Hare, you do see it, and here she is.
Sloane Stephens. Returning in that deuce court.
And she has spent many an hour on this particular court. She practices here a lot of times in her off season. Of course, her coach, Kamal Murray, is the head pro, and he's the guy that built this place with a lot of great donations from the amazing, wonderful tennis fans and tennis public and people of Chicago. 25 years of age, 5'7". It's her 4th season of WTT. It's really where she started her summer last year. She did play Wimbledon, but lost in the first round. And then came out and played World Team Tennis and was actually subbed out on many occasions in the singles last year for and by Taylor Townsend. She did not have a great season last year, but then, oh, you know what? Didn't matter. She just decided to have the best summer of her entire life. Semi-finals in Toronto, semi-finals in Cincinnati, and then went and won the US Open. It was quite an extraordinary summer. And it started here, really, playing team tennis. And not very well, but she learned a lot about fighting for every point.
And playing under pressure.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
There's 3-2.
And a funny story is that Kamal Murray used to coach Taylor Townsend before she moved to Atlanta, and now he coaches Sloane Stephens. He's the head pro here. And the night before the US Open final, Kamau took his laundry, his dirty laundry over, and had it washed at Billie Jean King's apartment. We play the Letts.
Here's a deciding point. Freedom rallied nicely from 3-love to 3 points all.
But just to finish up on that, he was so nervous about the match. He wanted to hear what Billie had to say, what she could tell him to tell her the night before her US Open final.
Now 4 straight points and a break of serve for the Freedoms.
Boy, Taylor Townsend just showed everybody here in Chicago, her hometown, why she will win the MVP this year. I mean, unbelievable return, and then makes no mistake to hit this to the right person and the right spot.
Yeah, it really was some wonderful play. And a chance now for Sloane Stephens to try and underline this break. Taylor takes her position up at the net. Of course, Stephens has continued to play well this year. Obviously, the brilliant run in Paris to the finals.
I'm surprised that she's serving first, to be honest. Taylor's already played a set, would feel a lot more comfortable in this environment. And there's a perfect indicator. I mean, Taylor is probably the more aggressive player at the net, so sometimes it's all about what your net player is doing as well.
Sloane is actually ranked number 3.
Yeah.
WTA rankings computer career high.
Well, that's too good. Can't move on that one, Taylor. That's a comfortable return for Brengel.
Yeah, Brengel possesses a great two-hander, doesn't she?
28 years of age, 5'6", sixth season of World Team Tennis, and majority of them have been with the Washington Kastles. She's from Dover, Delaware.
Yeah, Brengel won the final point in 2015. That was the last title for the Kastles in the women's singles. So clinched another King Trophy for Mark Hein. Quick Geico timeout there. Love 2.
That's just trying to carve it too much. It's like trying to slice some ham there. I mean, you have to actually just hold the racket face open to hit that tone of a volley. If you cut it too much, you actually literally cut it too much, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Saves a break point with that fairly acrobatic volley.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that was almost like a bunt in baseball. She just got her racket out there, absorbed the pace, and just dropped it over the net.
She faked and then still waited for the middle ball. That's so important as a net player. Oh, so the first time that these two actually played together, Leaf, the very first game that they played with Sloane serving, they were down 0-3. They lost the first game and were down 0-3. They lost 7 points in a row. And then Sloane served away from an 0-3 deficit, and then they won the set 5-2. So this is starting to be a little bit eerie, even though they won the first game.
Raquel Atowell is also a part of the Freedoms lineup. Normally the doubles player, but tonight she'll have the night off. Kevin King is sitting there as well, and he's been a wonderful addition in the men's singles and the men's doubles. Lots of Kings this year. If you have a last name King, you're pretty much in the league. found a way back in that game.
Well, that was some great hands and play from Taylor Townsend. Malakar should have done a lot more with that backhand volley, though. Didn't get it low enough, and it allowed Taylor Townsend then to move forward on the volley.
Stephens has won a title this year already. She won a title in Miami. Beat Muguruza, Azarenka, Kerber, Ostapenko, Murderer's Row, and she took them all down. It wasn't a bad play from Brengel, but the lob just was a little too strong. 1 point all. You can't give her that volley. She'll take care of that one every time. Right on top of the net.
Yeah, and the problem is if you lob, then you're hitting it back to Sloane Stephens, and she's comfortable on the baseline, but it's probably a better option than going at Taylor at the net. Oh, right on the line. Good volley from Taylor Townsend there. Coach Kamal Murray was even pretty happy with that one. He's taken the mayor's seat. He's put the mayor in the corner.
He's the mayor of the XS Tennis Village. So Geico timeout again. And there's Rahm Emanuel enjoying his evening with a little bit of tennis.
Getting
Mayor of Chicago.
Potato chips. Well, Kamal Murray is sitting right on that line. I wonder if he can see that. What's his call? The mayor's like, I don't know. What do you think?
Now this is where one of the innovations they're using this season, Hawkeye Live, calling all the lines with cameras situated. We're not using that tonight. You can see we've got lines people in place. There's Kamal Murray.
Yep. Tell the mayor, hey, listen, get up. Oh, good leave, and that was called off by Taylor Townsend. Game.
Yeah, so that is the game then for the Freedoms. And again, Malakar was in a pretty good position, just misplayed the volley. And that's 3-love.
I love that Kamal's just taking his seat. You can stand up. Can't get a seat in this house. What do I gotta do? Yeah, so that's Kamal Murray on the left. He's coach of Sloane Stephens, of course, the US Open champion, and a former coach of Taylor Townsend. What a proud moment this must be for him tonight.
Pretty good lob from Brengel. Townsend went back pretty aggressively, but just couldn't track it down.
Valerie Jarrett is also in the house tonight because she's from Chicago, former President Obama's right-hand woman.
And it's interesting to see that Taylor Townsend has stayed on the same path of playing this all-court game.
Thank
and it's
goodness.
just starting to come together for her. You know, it takes a little while longer to
Absolutely.
incorporate the volleys and
Absolutely.
half volleys and approach shots.
Another good serve. There's no doubt, Lee. I mean, I think that Taylor Townsend's best tennis is ahead of her in about 3 years. I really believe that. I mean, not to say she can't have a great year or two right now, but she is a true all-court player, and her game is going to take some time to mold and understand for her. That's the one area, if I could kind of grab a hold of her a little bit, just instead of chopping on that forehand volley, just to hold the racket face a little more steady.
Yep.
Something Billie Jean could teach her. Billie had some pretty good volleys.
Some of the best. 2 points all. Can't be generous in a situation like this.
No, because as we've talked about, cumulative scoring, as you can see, the score is only 7-5. So you want to try and take advantage of every single game you can.
Another deciding point. We had 3 of them in this event. So making a decision on where the serve's going to go and how Townsend, or excuse me, how Sloane Stephens will react at the net. Will she hold her position? Will she step out in the middle?
Good miss.
Oh, well, it worked out in the end. Sloane tried to hit it and missed it, and it went out. For love.
A tennis league built on innovation, passion, and respect moves into the digital video age. For the first time, fans around the globe can stream every match from the World Team Tennis season on our new channel, WTT.tv, completely free. Watch major champions and rising stars come together to compete for the coveted King Trophy.
So many great points in this one.
This summer, watch the entire season at WTT.tv, presented by Geico.
I woke up in Memphis and told people about Geico. How they could save 15% or more, but by just calling or going online to geico.com. Sorry, are you gonna... Every time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
As people who love the outdoors, we know what we stand for. We stand for fish, wildlife, and conserving the places they call home. We stand for the traditions we inherited and that we must pass on. We stand for great gear, fair prices, expert service, and memorable experiences. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we stand together for you.
All right, back at the XS Tennis Village here in Chicago. Kamau Murray, what a wonderful evening it is. Has to be for him. He's having a conversation with Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago. This is his project that he put together, that he helped manage and obviously raised the funds to make it happen.
And a lot of the donors that contributed to this incredible facility here in Chicago are here tonight. I've seen a lot of them. As we talked about, particularly, I mean, look around. The Magellan team Mark Walter from Guggenheim Financial, Mark Brooks. I mean, there's a long list. The Pritzker family were very, very...
yeah, Penny Pritzker in particular.
Penny was incredible.
James Bale, I'm a board member. He's been very supportive as well. A lot of people, a lot of patrons, and a lot of supporters
and
all chipped in to make this dream become a reality.
That's a great volley from Taylor.
And you know, you watch players who can volley like this, and you really start feeling, you know, this is how doubles should be played.
Exactly.
You know?
That's exactly right. And you know what? No matter what, people that volley in doubles still do well. They're the ones that are dominating doubles. And I think about, you know, Martina Hingis, who came back, believe me, came back after playing World Team Tennis for the Washington Castles, came out of retirement to play some matches and thought, I can still play this game. Came back after that and won, I should look it up, but multiple Grand Slams, and became world #1 again in doubles.
Yeah, I think it was maybe 7, including mixed doubles.
And the big doubles results that she had were with Leander Paes, who she played with on the Washington Castles team. So they got that inspiration and idea from playing World Team Tennis together, or she would not have been able to add another 7 Grand Slams to her title if she hadn't played World Team Tennis. So Mark Ein there in the picture right at the top in the hat, he's the reason why. Brought her back to come and play World Team Tennis.
Big moments for Melekar.
Oh, come on.
That was an incredible shot.
That was a ridiculous volley from Taylor. Not quite sure if she meant it to go there, but wow.
That was a set point saved. Now it's a deciding point, which is another set point.
And this is the better setup, isn't it? I mean, they've had opportunities because the return team gets to choose. And in the first game, they had a 3-0 point. Taylor took the return. But now Sloane's got her eye in. And Taylor is so good at the net. You've got one of the best players in the world taking the return. You think she can handle the pressure? I think she can. And Taylor's been magnificent at the net. Oh, that's just too good. That's just too good. Absolutely perfect serve in the corner of the service box. And that game was big because that changes the deficit. It could have been 9-5, 4 games. That's a lot. Now it's at most 3 games, okay? It's still a lot, but it's not as bad, believe me. That one game can be the difference between winning and losing. And the Kastles and the Friesums have both been in the situation of it coming down to a super tiebreak this year, so they understand the importance of every game.
Good heavy return, leaned on it. Melekar's been hitting her forehand brilliantly tonight. She's got a number of winners. Can they get some more games? Can they cut into this deficit? Stephens is trying to close it out. Townsend's been very strong overhead. And I think Brengel went to the lob just one too many times in that rally.
It's tough though, because Taylor's on top of the net. And so you constantly are feeling her presence, which is a good thing in doubles. Just overplaying that forehand.
Yeah. she's probably thinking, okay, where can I put the ball? If I go cross court, it's Sloane Stephens. I go up the line, it's Taylor Townsend at the net.
Exactly.
These freedoms make a nice pair in the women's doubles.
Your options are not terrific. Yep, too big.
So here is a third set point. First one on serve for Sloane. Yeah, another volley winner. And the freedoms dominant in the women's doubles as they have been throughout the season. Taylor Townsend at the net, Sloane Stephens serving it out. 5-1, and it's 9-6 freedoms.
Oh, you're hitting them good, Jay. Have you ever played golf in the snow before?
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm just going to try to practice for all my life and see what it ends up to. Hopefully I'll be good enough to go to the tour.
Good shot, Big J.
Give me a racket and watch me go. Because I won't come back the same.
Sometimes I'll come back with scratches and scrapes.
Or with stories of great shots and close shaves.
Of wins for the history books.
And of losses I'll never forget.
But watch me smile.
Say good game.
And put my racket away for now, but not for good.
Because I'll have seen what I can do.
And I know greatness
is waiting.
Sign up with Net Generation, official youth tennis of the USTA.
Still a chance here. It's Willingham. Into the box. Willingham shoots. Goal! That was magic. Willingham tucks it in and puts the championship to bed. Sweet dreams.
As long as soccer players celebrate with a slide, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Pressure. What pressure? The players on the...
Nearly all profits from Bloomberg LP go to Bloomberg Philanthropies, which is dedicated to saving and improving lives around the world. So when you work for or with Bloomberg, you're doing a whole lot of good. Learn more about our good work at Bloomberg.org.
Tim shares his jacket.
Don thinks he's kinda nice.
Danny shares with Beth.
On a beach in paradise.
Robert shares his dance moves.
Then he shares a spin.
Victor shares with Emily.
But she's more into Quinn.
Kevin shares a song and the spotlight with Colleen.
Nick shares with Ben's sister, the DJ who's 19.
Deja shares with Curtis.
After her curfew.
Sharing's always better when I share a Coke with you.
A tennis league built on innovation, passion, and respect moves into the digital video age. For the first time, fans around the globe can stream every match from the World Team Tennis season on our new channel, WTT.tv, completely free. Watch major champions,
Incredible point,
and rising stars come together to compete for the coveted King Trophy.
So many great points in this one.
This summer, watch the entire season at WTT.tv, presented by Geico.
Back in Chicago, beautiful evening, a very special evening for tennis. Here at the XS Tennis Village, this nonprofit center has got indoor and outdoor tennis courts, track, ball courts, and here is an amazing volley from Taylor Townsend. I'm not sure that was intentional, but it was self-preservation. I think it worked well. right on top of the net. And here's a look at this fabulous indoor facility. Taylor Townsend, I didn't know you were going to talk with us. Thank you, Taylor.
Hi.
How come you're playing so well? You're doing so many good things out there.
Thank you. Been working hard.
Taylor, how awesome is it for you to be back here in Chicago? Even though you're representing the Freedoms, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, I love the city. I haven't been back in almost 2.5, almost 3 years, so it's always great. I have a lot of family here, so it's awesome to see everybody.
You know, we were talking a little bit about your all-court game, your ability to volley. You've stuck with it, and your game seems to only get better and better.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, it's definitely something that I think I do really well, and it helps me a lot, and it's something that I'm comfortable with. So I'm just trying to develop that as much as I can, and I think it's going to help me in the long run.
Taylor, you and Sloane are having some fun out there too. I can see the jokes going on between you two. How's the chemistry with you guys?
It's good. I mean, we've played together before, so I think we really know what to expect. And I played with her for 2 weeks in team tennis last year, so we're both familiar with the format. So we just go out there and have a good time. I mean, I know what I'm getting myself into, and she knows what she's getting herself into. So, I mean, it's good vibes all the way around.
Hey, congrats. Good luck the rest of the way.
Taylor, we're loving it, girl. Just keep playing the way you are.
Thank
Good luck.
you. Thank you.
All right, men's doubles getting started. And our first look at Tennis Sandgren, the man from Gallatin, Tennessee. The man who had such a brilliant run in Melbourne, reaching the quarterfinals. His first Grand Slam wins, and he had them in succession, including one of her Dominic Thiem. And also a first look at Kevin King, who's playing alongside Fabrice Martin for the Freedoms. Sandgren, 27 years of age, his second season, getting over some arm problems he was having.
It's just a bomb of a serve. It's interesting because Martin came out in the mixed doubles hitting a lot of kick serves, and now he's come out absolutely clocking the serve. So he's a smart server. Tennis Sandgren, 27 years of age, 6'2", second season of World Team Tennis. He's from Gallatin, Tennessee, went to the University of Tennessee, and his name is Tennis Sandgren.
With a Y. He also played to the finals in Houston at the U.S. Clay Courts, River Oaks Country Club in Houston. Great run he had there, lost to Steve Johnson, who played a match for the New York Empire. Did Stevie Johnson this year.
Oh, he almost got his racket on that, Martin.
Now here's Kevin King out of Peachtree City, Georgia. He's a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech. He's a rookie this year, World Team. Played under Kenny Thorne, Georgia Tech. Great tennis program they have there. He's one of the more successful guys coming out of the program. Left-hander, two-time All-American. He's a mechanical engineer. I think he's smarter than both of us put together.
That's not hard to do. That's a good volley. So some good serving from Sandgren. Important in men's doubles to get that first serve in and allow your partner to do a lot of work at the net.
It's really an amazing season, Billie Jean King, the woman who created World Team Tennis. We've got Evan King playing for the Orange County Breakers. We've got Vanya King playing for Springfield. And tonight we've got Kevin King.
And guess what? They're all playing for the King.
For the King.
And the King in the house. Billie Jean.
And if you're watching at home, you can see how so much of doubles is decided from the middle of the court. Who owns the middle of the court, who can win that part of the court, seems to take home more of the prizes. Game points for the Kastles. Now Sandgren coming up with a nice delivery there down the tee. So the Kastles need to get some games here. They've got a 3-game deficit. Yeah, Sandgren, he told me that he was working on his low forehand, and he did about 45 minutes a day, and he did that for about a week, 10 days. And that's when he started to develop some arm problems, and it's been pretty serious. He missed a number of events, particularly during the grass court season leading up to Wimbledon, Halle, Hertogenbosch, and Eastbourne. So he's just getting back to health, and you can see the sleeve he has on his arm to keep things warm.
That's a good point there from all players. It's unusual when the two net players lose the point, but on that occasion, just some really good hitting from the back of the court.
What is the strategy when it's 2 up, 2 back, if you're the team in the backcourt?
You have to try and get the ball below the net as much as you can.
Keep it down low. Yeah.
And then force your opponents to keep volleying up and then hope that they miss, which is exactly what that happened in the last point. Whoa.
Yeah, there's that lefty serve from King. I'd say it was majestic, but that would just be too much. He's playing for the Kastles, he's a king. No, he's playing for the freedom. It didn't work.
I'm gonna leave all your jokes alone tonight. I just
Not enough?
think it's better.
Some say that you get an aggressive player like King with a good serve and ability to come forward. Again, that's kind of a good style to have in this format.
Absolutely. Puts you under so much pressure immediately.
You throw in the heater, and then you throw in a spinning serve like that, and that's a tough one to return and really do enough with. So good strategic play. Craig Card's looking pretty loose, coach of the Freedoms, and why not? They're at 8-1, atop the standings, playing great tennis. And he's got Sloane Stephens playing the last event of the evening.
I mean, the key is...
Excuse me, that's the 4th match of the evening.
Yeah, I mean, the key in World Team Tennis is a solid team, just a solid, good team, and that's what the Philadelphia Freedoms have this year. That's why you win a lot of team tennis, and this year in particular, the women have been absolutely outstanding, but they have been backed up by how good these two have been, Fabrice Martin and Kevin King. And Billy is explaining all of that right now to Mark and Kimbra Walter from the Dodgers. This is what you have to do to win World Team Tennis.
That's all it takes.
Mark and Kimbra both live here in Chicago.
Oh, that's a wonderful half volley. Lindstedt.
See, he would be loving the bounce of the court because it allows him to really use that kick serve. Oh, what a shot. What a get from Robert Lindstedt. And Martin just took his eye off the ball. That was a great opportunity to get that point. That was very well done. Beautiful return. And Kevin King shanks this, so didn't have a lot on it. And what was Fabrice Martin doing there? I mean, as soon as he saw Kevin King moving to his right, he should have been over to the left side. Oh, that's wide. That's a shocker.
I think we saw him make a similar error in DC where you need to go straight ahead with that and not back cross court. Yeah, he will not be happy with that error.
Well, he's just not close enough to the net. That's why he had to go back there. It's too good. The serving.
Lindstedt won a title this year in Istanbul. He's won a title now for 12 straight years on the ATP World Tour. He's a very accomplished doubles player. Both of them ended up on top of that ball, ended up on top of each other. So the Kastles take the game. It's 2 games all here in the men's doubles, the 3rd event of the evening.
World Team Tennis is back for another season of hard-hitting action on ESPN.
So many great points in this one.
July 21st, the New York Empire head to the nation's capital to take on France's Tiafoe and the 6-time WTT champion Washington Kastles.
Incredible point.
Then, on August 5th, the league's 2 best teams battling out in the championship final for the King Trophy. Don't miss New York Empire versus Washington Kastles, July 21st, and the WTT final, August 5th, presented by Geico.
Still nervous about finding a new apartment?
Yeah, but popping these things really helps me relax. Please don't. I'm saving those for later.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about renter's insurance. Just go to geico.com.
Geico helps with renter's insurance. It's good to know.
Been doing it for years.
That's really good to know. I'll check them out.
Get to know Geico and see how easy homeowners and renters insurance can be.
Come on, guys, pop it back up.
We know our customers have busy lives. That's why we're working hard to improve our customer service. Now with the My Account app, you never have to guess when I'll be there. So instead of cutting your day short, you can stay out just a little bit longer. I'm Jaquetta from Comcast. We should fit into your life, not the other way around.
Back in Chicago, a home match for the Freedoms, taking on the Kastles, the 2 top teams in the league. The Freedoms in the #1 spot, the Kastles hot pursuit in the 2nd. The multicolored court that so defines World Team Tennis back in Chicago.
Great serve. Yeah, it's the first professional tennis match that there's been played in Chicago in, I believe, 25 years.
Is that right?
Yes.
I know I played an ATP event here in the 80s.
I played, I think, the last event here in, I believe it was, wait a second. I won the Chicago doubles tournament here in 96, I believe. So what is that? That was 22 years ago. Is that, can I count?
I think you're right, yeah.
So over 2 decades. That's a long time. World Team Tennis team here back in the day called the Chicago Fire.
Didn't do enough with it. And Lindstedt has been very good tonight. Some good reflexes.
But this city is, it really needs, that's why the Labour Cup is going to be so popular. I mean, tennis in this city is big.
There's Fabrice Martin trying to get the signals right with his partner King at the net.
That's huge. See, so he's mixed up the kick serve on the first point, and then he went big down the tee. So Robert Lindstedt's not quite sure of whether to move in, shorten the swing, or get up and really take a bigger swing to go for the kicker. So he's just not only is he a good server, but he's a smart server. And that combination is deadly. See, that was a sliced serve, and that's even slower a serve. And so for a returner, you get used to a big serve. It's not always the best serve to hit.
Yeah, Sandgren was a little bit early on that one, it seemed.
See which one he decides to go for here. Might go for a slider here. He's done it all today. Well, he went for the kicker again. Get to keep that ball here in Chicago. Don't need to throw it back. World Team Tennis. He's going to go tee, and he's going to tee, and then King is going to go to his left at the net. Well, it was completely different to what the signal was.
Wow. Pretty nice finishing volley by King. So they maintain the 4-game lead And this is how doubles can be played. Yeah, the left-hander coming up with the finishing touches there. His dad played college football at Villanova. His idol was not a football player, it was Pete Sampras. I'm sure he'd like to be the left-handed version of the kind of tennis that Sampras produced. And one of the few times that Lindstedt has failed to convert that.
Yeah, that's the incorrect volley there. He needed to hit that down at the feet of Fabrice Martin at the net. And the guys are just really utilizing their serve very well this evening.
Sandberg just playing that ball deep. Jensen was happy with that. Sandrin's first ATP match wins happened in Washington, D.C. One reason why he's got a fondness for the city. That was at the City Open. Of course, he added to that total in Melbourne this year. Quarterfinal run, incredible.
Oh, it's too good. The usual backhand, the way he hits it, very open with his chest to the backhand rather than turning to the side. You think about how good Roger Federer hits it. One of the key things is having your chest to the side, and he has it very front on, so it's unusual but effective, Fabrice Martin.
Yeah, that's how good doubles teams get their business done. A first serve and a good move by the man at the net. A little bit of synchronicity between these guys. Yeah, they had a rough night, the Kastles, against Springfield at home last night. Yeah, they lost 21-15. Sandgren lost his singles and doubles. So he would like to get on the winning side of things here tonight. He'll feature in the final event of the evening in the men's singles against Kevin King, too.
Cumulative scoring, so every game counts here. This is a vital game for both teams. You think about if the Kastles can get a break here and hold, it will be only a one-game lead with 2 sets to go. I mean, that is enormous. So a vital game for both teams.
Boy, that was a great serve out wide. That left-hander spinning it out to Sandgren's two-hander. Tennis had to drop the one hand and try and stab it way out wide. Catch it. Yeah, there's another souvenir. He's had success at the challenger level, has King, winning a title, won a number of matches, yet to win an ATP match. That one dropped in. You can tell by the crowd's reaction.
I used to hit some of those shank forehand lobs, and every time I hit it, I said, And a couple of $100 on a few of those.
I think Bjorn Borg hit more of those than any player. Yeah, he did that a lot.
Do you have bad memories of that?
No, I just watched it. I thought, God, that'd be a great shot to possess. Or someone like Leighton Hewitt, he would hit him right in the center of the strings.
Every time.
Yeah. Lets her in play. Freedoms take another game, reestablish that 4-game lead, and you can see why this game is so important. Kastles want to get this, keep it a 4 or at least a 3-game deficit. If they lose this game, suddenly it's 5 going into the final 2 events. Coach Jensen having a word with our umpire tonight. There are always a few more conversations when we don't have the Hawkeye Live in operation, as the lines people are having to make some tough calls in these fast conditions.
See, this is why I'm going to love when they put electronic line calling in every tournament.
Yeah, you feel like it's an inevitability. So much of the innovation of World Team Tennis goes into the tours.
Yeah, it's just so much going to be so much better, less stressful for the players.
And it moves things along.
Yeah, there's no arguing. Okay, so some pressure now on Lindstedt on this service game. Yeah, just moved too soon there, Fabrice Martin. The only reason he would have probably moved it was a set play. That no matter what you go, but that was a high volley on the forehand. It's much easier to go down the line on that volley. You have to stay. So it's heading towards another tiebreak, and that's just so atypical of a World Team Tennis match with big service.
Yeah, rock solid on that finishing play. It's great to see a house filled with so many celebrities, so many supporters in tennis. Last night in Washington, we had Ted Leonsis, the owner of the Capitals, Stanley Cup champs, as well as a number of other sports franchises. Tony Kornheiser was in the house in D.C.
Oh, taggage. That's okay, that's allowed. Sometimes it's the only place to go, and often the best place to go.
Although Leonsis didn't bring the Stanley Cup with him, he's probably going to maybe wait for the King Trophy to arrive.
He and Mark Ein, the owner of the Washington Kastles, very good friends. Mark.
Yeah, good work. So the Kastles get the game, and we will have a 9-point tiebreak. So the 9-pointer, as we said, the first one to 5, a little more pressurized than even the 12, because it will end on the 9th point no matter what. Of course, looking in the crowd, I also see a fellow Princetonian who played for many years on the Princeton tennis teams. He's also a patron of this facility. It's Bill Dutton, Illinois gentleman, played his junior tennis here and of course matriculated at Princeton.
There's a lot in the house tonight. There's another friend of mine in the front row down there who's instrumental in bringing the tennis facility to its conclusion, Samir Kero also played college tennis. So many of the patrons that gave money to this facility are all ex-players that came through the college system, obviously went and made it pretty big, made some pretty decent money, and have brought tennis back to this community because they love it so much. Boy, that looked close. That serve.
So the Freedoms get a first point on the board.
I don't disagree with this call. I think that serve did look a little bit long, but guess what, boys? Let's go. Get on with it. And this is why we won't have any of this issue when we have electronic line calling. You won't have delays in games. You won't have players complaining. There's nobody to complain to.
Yeah, and then when you add in the shot clock, which is a very real possibility, something we have in World Team Tennis. I mean, when Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, is asked, what would you like to add to baseball? And he said, a pitch clock. Because he doesn't want the pitchers slowing the game down. He wants the sport to move along. So if tennis is struggling with it, imagine baseball adding, or at least considering something like that.
Well, we've got the owner of the LA Dodgers in the house, so, you know, let's ask him what he'd like to change. Other than winning.
Yeah, and here's another argument on the call.
So the umpire changed the call. You know, it just takes the stress off the players so much. I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie. I argued a lot with the umpires through the years. If I had electronic line calling, the amount of gray hairs that I have now would be a lot less.
A lot less, right. Agonizing over things that you should be able to control. And there is a break back for the Freedom, so they get the 2 points all. Craig Carden, coach of the Freedoms, is pretty happy about that. And you just feel like if the Freedoms win tonight, they get to 9-1, only 4 matches remaining. You feel like they're in a good position to at least lock up a spot in the King Trophy.
No question.
You know, whether it's first place or second. So a little extra time taken on this changeover. After the first 4 points of a 9-point tiebreaker, they change ends. Serving now for the Freedoms will be Kevin King. Let's see what the left-hander does. Doesn't do enough. Forehand volley makes it 2-3.
Great serve.
All right, so 3 points all. So the last 3 points, if required, will go to the Kastles. And Robert Lindstedt, who's been delivering some heat and some very effective serving. Quick Geico timeout as Carden is back out on court. Interesting to note, the best doubles performance so far this season has been the Orange County Breakers on the men's side. The Freedoms and the Kastles have 3 and 4 in league performance. Of course, it was the Orange County Breakers. That's the only team that have a win over the Freedoms this year. The Kastles are trying to become the second team to beat the first place Freedoms. But you can see the deficit. They're down 3 games. If they can get this game, take the men's doubles, it would just be a 2 2-game deficit heading into halftime.
Big serve. Okay, so 4-3.
Set point.
Oh, okay. 4-all.
Wow, what a play that was. Somehow, Martin saw the move, played it down the line. Billie Jean King is excited about that. The Freedom's in with a chance against the Lindstedt serve.
Billie's fired up.
What a play from the Freedoms. Again, Martin returning up a storm when he needs it, and King's in the middle.
Well, that game was so big, and Billie Jean King knows it. That's a 4-game lead now for the Philadelphia Freedoms with 2 sets to go. So that could have been the dagger game.
Yeah, imagine that. I mean, Lindstedt had a set point on his serve, and then a second set point and failed to get it done. He got first serves in on both points.
Amazing.
And somehow the Freedoms get it done. So, 14-10, the Freedoms have taken 2 of the 3 sets. Women's singles is next. Madison Brengle, US Open champ, Sloane Stephens.
I woke up in Memphis and told people about Geico. How they could save 15% or more, but by just calling or going online to geico.com. Sorry, are you gonna... Every time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
As people who love the outdoors, we know what we stand for. We stand for fish, wildlife, and conserving the places they call home. We stand for the traditions we inherited and that we must pass on. We stand for great gear, fair prices, expert service, and memorable experiences. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we stand together for you.
Give me a racket and watch me go. Because I won't come back the same.
Sometimes I'll come back with scratches and scrapes.
Or with stories of great shots
and close shaves.
Of wins for the history books.
And of losses I'll never forget.
But watch me smile.
Say good game.
And put my racket away for now, but not for good.
Because I'll have seen what I can do.
And I know greatness
is waiting.
Sign up with Net Generation, official youth tennis of the USTA.
World Team Tennis is brought to you by Citi. Welcome What's Next. Welcome back, everyone. A beautiful evening in Chicago. What a great city this is, and a great night of tennis for a wonderful cause. This nonprofit center, the XS Tennis Village and the XS Tennis and Education Foundation. The Kastles, this is a home match for the Freedoms, and they're playing like it. They're up 14-10. So here on center court now, Novo Nordisk's Diabetes District Business Managers gonna award the Novo Nordisk Donnelly Awards for 2018. Of course, Billie Jean King, Diane Donnelly-Stone, and Michelle Hansen are part of the committee that puts together these awards, honoring 2 athletes who are not only accomplished tennis players, but have lived their lives in such a positive way with the challenge of diabetes. Paulina Garcia and Garrett Kurtz. Paulina just 19, diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 12. She played #1 singles all 4 years in high school in San Antonio. She's currently a freshman at Trinity University, where she plays on the tennis team there, an international business major. Now Garrett, 20 years of age, was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 7. He played 4 years of varsity tennis at University High School in Irvine, California. Now he plays tennis for the University of San Diego. He's currently a junior. So congratulations to Paulina and Garrett. Thank you to Novo Nordisk for continuing to support this wonderful program of acknowledging some of these wonderful athletes who address the challenges of diabetes. There's Novo Nordisk, their business managers, Eric Gans and Michelle Hansen, are on court as well. So glad that they could be with us today. Because Novo Nordisk has given over $400,000 in scholarships for the last 15 years. So it really is a wonderful program that Novo Nordisk have in place with this awards. Congratulations to Paulina Garcia and Garrett Kurtz. Yeah, there's Garrett acknowledging the crowd. Nice to see these young people, high achievers, and getting the kind of support that Novo Nordisk is able to provide them with. All right, so we'll take a short break. Final acknowledgements of these two young people. Looking forward to what's coming up next, which is the women's singles featuring Sloane Stephens and Madison Brengel. The Kastles in second place, chasing the first place Freedoms. They need the win tonight, really, to give them a good chance of getting to play for the King Trophy. The Freedoms, 14-10.
So you just walk around telling people Geico could help them save money on car insurance?
Yeah, that, and homeowners, renters, motorcycle and boat insurance.
Huh, that's nice. What happens when you catch a fish?
Oh!
Geico, more than just car insurance. See how much you could save at geico.com.
I'm okay!
All right, back at the XS Tennis Village here in Chicago. World Team Tennis back in Chicago. I can remember playing for the Chicago Fire many years ago. Let's give you a recap of what's happened so far. Mixed doubles was up first.
Yep, it was a solid set from both teams. Taylor Townsend came out serving well. All four players really played their part in this particular set. It was exciting. It was great serving, great volleying, great hands at the net, and some mixtures of lobs and big shots from the baseline, but good volleying. And this was an unbelievable point from Taylor Townsend. Look at the hands at the net. Thank you very much. And Billie Jean King says, baby. Yeah, baby.
That's right. It came down to a 9-point tiebreak. We traded breaks kind of at the end of the set. And Lindstedt and Melikar able to get it done in the tiebreak. Pretty exciting stuff. And this was the key moment, really, as Townsend just unable to finish, play that one ball at Lindstedt. And that gave him the chance to serve it out. Finally, they got it done 5-4. So next up was women's doubles. Townsend alongside Sloane Stephens taking on Melikar and Madison Brengel.
Yeah, this was just a difference of two players that were just playing some seriously good doubles. Sloane Stephens from the back of the court, and Taylor Townsend, like she's done all year, was just all over the net. Some great hands and some just the combination of the two of them playing together a couple of times now, they are deadly when they play well. Sloane Stephens even making a couple of moves at the net, but really it was Taylor Townsend's influence, and it was the perfect miss. Goodness,
it was a miss.
Believe it, girl. That was on, that was actually set point, but you know, there were so many good points that were played in this match, but really it was just the domination of the Philadelphia Freedoms throughout to do what they do so well. I mean, Taylor from the, Sloane from the back of the court, and then Taylor at the net. The combination is just so good.
Yeah. And that's where teams combine so well. Stephens and Townsend getting it done impressively. 5-1
in the women's doubles.
Men's doubles, Fabrice Martin and Kevin King, Robert Lindstedt, and Tennis Sandgren. And a lot of service holds. In fact, we didn't have a break point. But it came down to a few moments at the very end where you thought the Freedom had a chance, but just couldn't finish it.
Yeah, again, it was just a lot of combination of great serves, some great hands at the net. Both teams were like fighting because they knew how important this particular set was. Great volleys from Kevin King at the net. Some wonderful play. Some great returns from Fabrice Martin were the difference maker in this match. And the play from everyone. This was coming down to the end. Look at that return. That was on one set point. Okay, nothing that Robert Lindstedt could do. Fabrice Martin says, you know what, let's do it again. I'm going to hit another good reton, and my partner will do his bit at the net. So that was an incredible turn of events in the end in the men's doubles.
Lindstedt and Sandgren were up 4-3, a couple of set points, couldn't get it done. So that is what it looks like. Confirmation of the results and what is to come. Addison Brangle, Sloane Stephens next, and then Tennis Sandgren and Kevin King to finish it off in the men's singles. And remember, Craig Carden, the Philadelphia Freedom's coach, set the lineup. So I'm sure in his mind, he's thinking, are you surprised that he didn't finish with Sloane? He didn't finish with Kevin?
No, you stick with what's been working, and what's been working is finishing with Kevin King. Good. They're 8-1, and you know, similar to the years that with me with the Kastles, was we finished with Bobby Reynolds.
Right.
And you know, was Bobby the best set for us? Not always the best set for us. The best set for us often was mixed doubles, or men's doubles was very solid.
Yeah.
But we always finished with Bobby because we gave him a lead and he was always able to finish, and that's what Kevin King has done all season long.
We'll see whether Sloane Stephens can finish strong. Roland Garros finalist is up next.
Oh, you're hitting them good, Jay. Have you ever played golf in the snow before?
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm just going to try to practice for all my life and see what it ends up to. Hopefully I'll be good enough to go to the tour.
Good shot, Big J.
Give me a racket and watch me go. Because I won't come back the same.
Sometimes I'll come back with scratches and scrapes.
Or with stories of great shots and close shaves.
Of wins for the history books.
And of losses I'll never forget.
But watch me smile.
Say good game.
And put my racket away for now, but not for good.
Because I'll have seen what I can do.
And I know greatness
is waiting.
Sign up with Net Generation, official youth tennis of the USTA.
A tennis league built on innovation, passion, and respect moves into the digital video age. For the first time, fans around the globe can stream every match from the World Team Tennis season on our new channel, WTT.tv, completely free. Watch major champions and rising stars come together to compete for the coveted King Trophy.
So many great points in this one.
This summer, watch the entire season at WTT.tv, presented by Geico.
Players from 14 countries across 6 different teams, 43 matches over 3 weeks. Who will make their mark in the race for the championship and the coveted King Trophy? This year's most valuable players, 1 male, 1 female. The Forever Mark MVP Awards unfold during the World Team Tennis Finals.
So great to have Forever Mark back in play again this year to recognize the best players in the league. This is an important moment for both teams. Madison Brangle serving to Sloane Stephens in the women's singles.
1-0.
Sloane Stephens has absolute ridiculous easy power. It's unbelievable. She literally, when you watch her play, it's almost like she's disinterested. The way she moves around the court, the way she looks. It doesn't really look like she hits the ball that hard, and then all of a sudden she can just do anything with the ball.
Brangle did well to track it down, but Stephens finishing impressively at the net.
It's just, you know, her coach is in the house tonight, so she wants to impress. But also, not only does she want to impress, there's some pressure on her because Sloane Stephens knows that Taylor Townsend has been on fuego in the season this year. So she doesn't want to get subbed out. And there is her coach, Kamal Murray. He's on dad duty. It's his youngest son to his right.
No, too bad. She did the right thing. It was a good ball down the line, but now she's in some trouble.
1-3.
Now there's Kamal.
Dad duty.
Now he's the Chicago native, the tennis coach, founder, president, CEO of Access Tennis Village.
His other son, KJ, was in the house as well earlier, so clearly Mom Jen is having to take care of him now, somewhere in the house. His daughter was supposed to be one of the ball girls. So, you know, it's all happening here. It's a family affair.
It's a family affair, and that's the way tennis should be.
Ooh, if that had gone over, that would have been a point for Brangle. Break point.
All right, well, Brangle does a nice job getting back to deuce and deciding point, giving herself a chance. Stephens is going to return in the deuce court.
She wants a forehand, or she will get one here. Has to look for it. Big miss.
Yeah, she will be disappointed with that.
Well, she started so well, started so confidently, moving forward, moving the ball around the court, and then, you know, when Madison Brangle doesn't have a big serve, she'll be the first to tell you. She has had wrist problems in her career, so she can't really snap the wrist the way that most normal tennis players do. So that's why her serve is, you know, it is what it is. She just tries to get it in and play from there.
Kind of start the point, let's in play. Yeah, it's a nice play from Sloane. And the qualities that make Madison so tough, and she's going to run for everything. She's a dogged competitor.
Oh, yeah. And she likes pace, so she won't be overwhelmed with the pace, but she'll be more overwhelmed with the spin.
Yeah.
That will jump away from her. I mean, Madison Brangle has a career win over Serena Williams. So this is somebody who's, you know, capable of beating anyone at any time.
ITF event in Midland, Michigan.
Oh, that was right off the line. That's why you see that late preparation.
Yep.
2-1.
Good luck. I mean, if you're going to drop shot Sloane Stephens, it better be a good one because, I mean, her speed up to any ball is ridiculous. There's not many players that have a better first step than Sloane Stephens. And it's easy speed. It's just like, are you serious? No chance.
Yep. What is the strategy then against someone who moves well? Obviously, it's a tough one, isn't
That's a great question. I mean, there's a lot of players that move well that don't have the power of Sloane Stephens. I mean, that's why she's so good. That's why she's 3 in the world.
Yeah, 3
because
in the world.
she can run down anything. And then when it comes to being short, she can accelerate through the ball and hit a winner on any shot. I mean, if Sloane wanted to actually go for every ball, doesn't matter where she is in the court, she could try and hit a winner on anything. But she's patient, and she believes in her fitness and her speed around the court to wait for the right ball, and that is a deadly opponent. I mean, Simona Halep moves equivalently as well as Sloane, but she doesn't have the power that Sloane does. So she has to grind a little bit more. The backhand of Halep is absolutely incredible. The forehand has got more aggressive, but Sloane has more power on both sides.
But it's just Sloane winning the first set in that French Open final.
A set and a break.
Yeah.
Set and
so
a break.
Close.
Set to love, I believe. So it was a complete opposite of what Halep was up the year before. Halep was up a set and 3 love.
3 love against Ostapenko.
Yeah. But it was due to her making errors. Whereas I think, to be honest with you, Halep outgrinded Sloane in the French Open. Whereas Halep got a little negative, started missing, and Ostapenko started hitting winners all over the place. Whereas this one, I do believe that came down in the end to fitness. And that was the difference in the French Open final this year. But my goodness, and Kamau Murray knows it. He's lost Grant. His youngest son is obviously, he's off somewhere.
1, 2.
He's got a lot of babysitters in the house, so that's a good thing. But Sloane, Kamau says that Sloane is an opportunistic tennis player, and I love that. Well, she ran out of room there.
She did. Real estate was shrinking, and this court is pretty close in the back with the curtains and the border.
But I mean, by opportunistic, what he means is that she doesn't try and hit a winner on everything. She waits, she's patient, and then when it comes, and when the opportunity comes, then she goes for it. See, that's a little bit impatient from Sloane, but you that's what Madison Regal makes you do, because she is so doggedly determined to not make an error. Madison makes you hit winners to beat her.
Yeah. Yeah, she soaks up a lot of pressure, and then can apply pressure as well.
And she absolutely loves this World Team Tennis atmosphere.
missed by much, but here's a deciding point.
Definitely wide, 100% wide. So on the deciding point, the returner of serve chooses what side they want to take the return from. Sloane took it on the first court in the first game, and this time she's decided, you know what, that didn't work so well. Let me go on the other side.
Oh, it's just long, and that's a strong game. And Brendel.
You know, Leaf, this is why team tennis is so great, because it's pressure. It's such pressure. Now, if this was a regular tournament, Sloane was 1-all in the first and lose that game, she'd be like, no big deal. I'm going to win this match.
Right.
Whereas now she's like, oh, I'm letting my team down. This is terrible.
Yeah, it's a 5-game set.
What if I lose the next game? And I mean, all of that goes through your mind. So that's the difference between World Team Tennis and regular tournament play, which is why a lot of these players go from playing World Team Tennis to playing regular tournaments, and it just seems easy.
Yeah, it is easier. I mean, there's no safe haven of deuce. You know, you get to deuce in a regular match, you feel pretty comfortable. Deuce add. But boy.
Now, I'm going to completely 100% agree with Madison Brendel right here. That serve was 100% out.
Yeah.
And so this is why the system, because we're literally on top of the line, and she's right. Exactly where she is pointing is out. This is why when we have the system the way it is with the electronic line call, you won't even have that argument. You just, it'll be called a fault and you get on with it.
Too much again. Just flirted with the sideline and hit it in the alley. So just taking a moment to collect herself is Sloane Stephens.
Wow. That's, again, just the dogged determination of Madison Brendel. It's just knowing that she has to hit something good there because Madison's going to run it down. Okay, I cannot also explain to you not only the pressure, but the fact that Taylor Townsend has been so good that Sloane knows.
Knocks that one down impressively.
I mean, Sloane's used to the format. She's played Taylor's very used to the format, so she's used to these sort of like high octane moments and the quick play. Whereas Sloane, this is only her second match in World Team Tennis this year. And it's a very different format, Leaf. You and I both played. It's almost like you're on like extra fast moments. It's almost like you're trying to slow yourself down and play at your normal pace, but the way that the system is, it makes you play fast.
Yeah, it's tough to get emotionally under control and to avoid getting into that habit of pressing too hard.
But at the same time, you almost have to have that personality, and that's why Taylor's so good in this format.
That's wide. And Brendel, balls in play. That was a good low backhand. The volley error. And that's a break of serve. The Kastles making a move here in the women's singles.
Still a chance here. It's Willingham. Into the box. Willingham shoots. Goal! That was magic. Willingham tucks it in and puts the championship to bed. Sweet dreams. Nice.
As long as soccer players celebrate with a slide, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Pressure. What pressure? The players on the...
Nearly all profits from Bloomberg LP go to Bloomberg Philanthropies, which is dedicated to saving and improving lives around the world. So when you work for or with Bloomberg, you're doing a whole lot of good. Learn more about our good work at Bloomberg.org.
As people who love the outdoors, we know what we stand for. We stand for fish, wildlife, and conserving the places they call home. We stand for the traditions we inherited and that we must pass on. We stand for great gear, fair prices, expert service, and memorable experiences. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we stand together for you.
Well, a battle between the top two singles teams. In terms of the women's side, Sloane Stephens for the Freedoms, Madison Brengle for the Kastles. And Madison Brengle has really played some very solid stuff here to build a 3-1 lead. Can she underline the break advantage now, serving in the 5th game?
Tell you that Madison Brengle is absolutely relishing this moment because she came out here thinking, you know what, she hasn't had a good record against Taylor Townsend, so I'm going to take advantage of this situation.
Because Taylor doesn't give her the kind of rhythm, right?
No, Taylor does not give her the rhythm at all, and that's why this is perfect for Maddie Brengle. I mean, it's just the format. It's just the way the format is that for Taylor, it is so hard to get used to. Taylor's doing this, the towel slap. She's like, listen, coach, let me show you how to do that. Back to the format, but where the format is with Taylor Townsend's type of game, lefty nightmare, first of all. It usually takes you 2 or 3 games to get used to a lefty game as it is in regular tournament play. Then you've got the serve and the volley, so you've got her coming into the net and using that leftiness. That takes a little while to get used to for everybody.
Yeah, I can't think of many players who come forward as often as she does.
Well, and also the fact she uses a forehand the way she does and her serve. I mean, you and I both know, playing against a left-hander, the first game or 2 is never fun. And then you start to sort of see the angle, you start to pick up how to actually hit the serve, hit the ball, and you get used to it. And then it's a very different situation in best of 3. But in first to 5,
that's wide. And there's Stephens with a very solid game. She went into I'm not gonna miss mode, and it paid off. 16-13 as the Freedoms back on serve in the women's singles. Yeah, suddenly she gets mentally locked in, down a break, and she's as good as there is.
Well, and that's the difference between this year and last year, for example. Because last year she probably would have lost that game. And she probably would have lost 5-1. Or she would have been replaced, actually. Taylor would have been already subbed in for Sloane. But the maturation of a tennis player is so interesting. And Sloane Stephens is a champion now. I mean, she is a champion. So she's not going down easy in this match. You start to figure out how to win, and you'll do whatever you can to do that, and that's what the mark of a champion is. I mean, I commentated a lot of Sloane's matches. The first time I ever saw Sloane Stephens was actually playing World Team Tennis. I played against her, and I thought, whoa, this kid has a big forehand. But she just didn't have the mentality and the drive a couple of years ago. And there's no question that Kamal Murray has been a big part of that. When he came on board to work with Sloane, he gave her that. He really pushed her and demanded things from her on a regular basis. And when they started working together, she won a couple of tournaments. She won Auckland, she won Charleston, and then that's when the injury came to the foot, and then she was off for
11 months.
Yep, a long time. And then she stuck with him when she came back, and then
caught fire.
I mean, the rest is history. And now she knows how it is and what it is to be a champion.
Yeah, there's 3-1. I mean, she was a Grand Slam semifinalist back in 2013.
Yeah.
So she had the signs of talent, but the greatness comes when all the pieces come together.
There's no doubt. I mean, that semifinal run was unbelievable, but it was kind of like almost like she was like, what?
And
how did this happen?
Quarterfinals at Wimbledon, too.
Mm-hmm. But I saw her play. Actually, the moment that I thought that she could win a Grand Slam was actually at the US Open when she played Serena about 3 years prior to winning the tournament. Might have been 4. And I went and walked and stood on the side of the court, because my badge could let me do that. And I watched her go forehand to forehand with Serena, and I thought, this kid is so good. Serena obviously won that match. But what I saw on that court that day was power and so much to her game. Oh no,
she overplayed it.
She had the whole, she didn't have to go for that much. That's where you almost want to be able to hold the ball a little bit on your strings.
Yep, she set it up nicely. I mean, this ball right here elicits a short reply. Yeah, there's the one. There it is.
That's where you almost want to fake your opponent out a little bit. I saw Craig Carden say break down the forehand just now to her.
Yeah, there's the 1-2 combination. It's a huge game. 3 games all. And now 17-13. So the Freedoms once again establish a pretty big gap.
You know, the great thing about World Team Tennis for Sloane, last year she didn't have the confidence because she hadn't played in a long time. She played 1 tournament. So coming in here, she had no confidence whatsoever and really no match play. She has a lot of match play under her belt, that's obvious. But believe you me when I tell you, she understands the importance of games. You cannot lose 4-1 or 5-1 or 5-2 in this format. A little brazen to come in on.
Well, it's difficult to break down Brengel's two-hander. She's got a very effective backhand.
Well, you can see how much she loves it too. I mean, when the ball gets hit hard there, she's just like, fine.
I'll rip it back.
Yeah, I mean, because she's got such good technique on her backhand. The forehand is very different. The difference with when she plays Townsend, is that Taylor plays to Madison's backhand, but she plays it with some tremendous forehand spin.
Yeah, it doesn't give her the pace.
It gets up above her shoulders, and that's the difference, because her ball above the shoulders, Madison's not as good. But anywhere waist level on the backhand, Madison's as good as you get. Just like that. I mean, that was a ripped forehand right into her backhand side, and she just turned the hips and let the racket head release.
Boy, that's some strong tennis. And another game for the Kastles. And these are really important games for them. Just to keep it close, just to manage this deficit going into the final event, the men's singles. Mark Ein looking on.
Let the dogs out. Haven't heard that one in a while.
That's going back a ways.
Yeah.
Pressure there from Stephens pays off.
Yeah, this is important. As I said, that game is important. You cannot let this game go. Got to get into a tie break.
In a position to force tie break. One more point is required. Wonderful shot. All right, the women's singles will be decided with a 9-point tiebreak. It's been a real battle. Traded breaks of serve right in the middle of the set.
But just check this backhand out with the open foot and just absolute easy power down the line. And she makes it look so easy. That's the type of point Taylor Townsend would play. Sloane Stephens hits a little more spin with the backhand. It gets Madison Bringle off the court, and then she comes into the net. She didn't finish it at the net, but what an amazing point that was from both players. You know, Madison Bringle doesn't have a big serve. Forehand looks a little funky, but you can see why she's made a living playing tennis. I mean, she is so determined, and the backhand is world class. I mean, she is going toe-to-toe with literally the #3 player in the world. So this is a player on screen that's made over $2.3 million in prize money.
And there's 3 successive points. Stephens in command. Boy, what an important game this is to get to 19-14. That's a 5-game cushion going into the final event. Can Stephens close it out for Philadelphia?
US Open champion right there. But I mean, it's so good for me to see this, because you know, people sort of wonder why is Sloane doing so well. It's all about her attitude. Because 3 years ago, or last year, I mean, it's different last year because she was just coming back from not playing much, but
right.
If we were talking about 2 years ago or 3 years ago, this set would have been over 20 minutes ago. I mean, she would have been out of it 5-love, 5-1, like just, and I asked her the question in an interview this year in Miami before she played the final. I said, what was it about you that, what's your go-to mechanism? And she's like, you know, I'm a happy person, and like, I'd be like, oh, okay, I don't want to deal with this. I just want to go home. Right. You know, when she was a kid, she said, I realized as a professional tennis player, I couldn't do that. I had to dig in and be tough, and that's what she is now. You know, I mean, literally the mantra of the Washington Kastles actually is refuse to lose. And that is what Sloane Stephens now is. She refuses to lose. And that's truly the mark of a champion. Oh, it's in. Come on.
Brengle can barely believe it. What a great moment. And the short smash, and you thought this one was done and dusted.
I love Madison's reaction though. She's like, she actually touched herself and went, oh, it was kind of hot, right? I got it in, right? It went in. That's amazing. What's this? She's like, I'm hot. Great point.
Stephens now with set point on her serve. Well, when does this start getting interesting? Right about now?
Now.
Perhaps.
Now.
Yeah.
When? Now.
Forehand error, and suddenly it's 4-3.
And the difference, I tell you who wants this game the most? Kevin King.
Yeah.
Kevin King's like, please win this game, give me a 5-game lead. Because the difference between 5 games and 3 games is huge. Oh my goodness gracious me. Here we go. 1 point to decide this set.
Well, a miracle lob saved one of the set points. 2 forehand errors cost her 2 there. Look at Madison, she can barely believe she's still alive, but she's in with a chance and could cut the deficit to 3 games. That's doable.
And here's the thing. Philadelphia Freedoms in singles, women's singles this year, have not lost 1 set. It's on the line right now. I wonder if Craig just ran out and said, listen, Sloane, we've not lost a set this year. So no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
I'm kidding.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Nice to get a first serve in to stave off some of the pressure. Madison Brangle, an incredible comeback. Down love 4 in the tiebreak, wins 5 straight points. And the Kastles take the women's singles 5-4. And it's suddenly 18-15, and it's very interesting now going into the final set, the men's singles. Tennis Sandgren and Kevin King will decide who will win this one tonight.
Still a chance here. It's Willingham, edge of the box. Willingham shoots. Goal! That was magic. Willingham tucks it in and puts the championship to bed. Sweet dreams.
As long as soccer players celebrate with a slide, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Pressure! What pressure? The players on the...
Give me a racket and watch me go. Because I won't come back the same.
Sometimes I'll come back with scratches and scrapes.
Or with stories of great shots and close shaves.
Of wins for the history books.
And of losses I'll never forget.
But watch me smile.
Say good game.
And put my racket away for now, but not for good.
Because I'll have seen what I can do.
And I know greatness
is waiting.
Sign up with Net Generation, official youth tennis of the USTA.
Team Tennis is back for another season of hard-hitting action on ESPN.
So many great points in this one.
July 21st, the New York Empire head to the nation's capital to take on Francis Tiafoe and the 6-time WTT champion Washington Kastles.
Incredible point.
Then, on August 5th, the league's 2 best teams battling out in the championship final for the King Trophy. Don't miss New York Empire versus Washington Kastles, July 21st, and the WTT final, August 5th, presented by Geico.
In 1974, we founded a tennis league that was built on innovation, team spirit, and excitement. Now, 4 decades later, we're changing the game again and bringing World Team Tennis into the digital video age. This season, for the first time ever, you can stream every match from World Team Tennis on our new channel, WTT.tv, in high definition and completely free of charge. Check it out at WTT.tv.
Oh, you're hitting them good, Jay. Have you ever played golf in the snow before?
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just going to try to practice for all my life and see what it ends up to. Hopefully I'll be good enough to go to the tour.
Good shot, Big J.
Come on, guys, pop it back up.
We know our customers have busy lives. That's why we're working hard to improve our customer service. Now with the My Account app, you never have to guess when I'll be there. So instead of cutting your day short, you can stay out just a little bit longer. I'm Jaquetta from Comcast. We should fit into your life, not the other way around.
Now, just a sensational facility here at the XS Tennis Village in Chicago. Kamau Murray has to be so proud of being able to put this together. And of course, proud also that we've got World Team Tennis here tonight. The Kastles taking that last set 5-4. Madison Brangle, the hero, coming from low 4 down. Madison, we're showing your reaction to that lob that went over Sloane's head, and you were so excited. Like, hey, how did that happen? Tell me what was happening in that point. It was incredible.
Well, pretty sure that's the best shot I've ever hit, so I was really excited about that. No, I just guessed because she had pulled me way off the court. She had the open court with the overhead, so I just ran forward and put my racket in the air.
Okay, Maddie, I mean, I know Sloane's #3 in the world and she's won a Grand Slam and all that sort of stuff, but it was kind of nice to see her, not that lefty game of Taylor's tonight.
Oh my God. Well, that night in Philly, like Taylor just, I mean, she did everything right and she played lights out. So, I mean, all credit to her. She just played it incredible. I didn't feel like there was a ton I could do. And yeah, so it was nice not having it like chip and charge and serve and volley. I probably got a little more time.
Hey, Maddie, we'll let you get back to this, but one more question.
Yeah.
How important is it for you as a teammate to have at least given your team a chance here in the last set?
I mean, every game counts, and that energy that you bring into the next set, I feel like that carries over too. So you fight to the end, and that's all you can do.
Hey, Maddie, well done tonight.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Go sit down. Cheer hard.
And here we are in an environment where World Team Tennis about loud noise and the crowd getting involved. And she's trying to speak so quietly, being so polite. So a huge win for her. 5-4 down, love 4, 5 set points against her. She pulls it out. So 18-15. This is Kevin King serving the left-hander against Tennis Sandgren. A couple of guys who played college tennis. Sandgren at the University of Tennessee and King, Georgia Tech. King, a player who's a little more comfortable in the transition game. He likes to come to net a bit. Sandgren, a little more baseline-centric. Each of them effective in their own way.
Indoors, I favor the guy coming into the net. And the serve and volley. Because this is the type of environment indoors that, I mean, I know how I played and how I felt. And if you put me inside, I felt much more comfortable because I could go with my bigger serves. The wind wasn't affecting my serve or the volleys that when I was coming into the net, and much more difficult to play from the back of the court. Which is why Kevin King has been so effective this year.
And Sandgren, who plays for the Kastles, obviously. They play at the Smith Center at George Washington University, indoor hardcourt, fairly quick. He has yet to win a set. So these conditions.
Well, that's just a shocker. Now this is some serious pressure on Kevin King because it's a 3-game lead. So, I mean, his thought process has to be just to win the set. But he also knows that if he loses this opening serve, it's going to come down to some serious big moments. This is not where he wants to be.
comes up with a good first serve.
He knew how big that was. I mean, the come on out of him after that serve.
That'll make you breathe a little easier when you get that first game. And obviously, the nerves, you're sitting on the bench, the nerves are building. You get out there, you hope to get a nice warm-up and loosen up a bit. But those nerves are still around when you step up to play. So now we can breathe a little more easily.
Great night of tennis here in Chicago.
So 1.0. Sandgren is a big, strong athlete. 6 feet 3 inches. He's built like a football player. He's very powerful, but he moves well. Beat Wawrinka at the Australian Open, and Stan was, yes, coming back from knee surgery and injuries. But he did beat Dominic Thiem in a 5-setter, and that says a lot about a player. So here's a chance for the Kastles to get on the board in the men's singles. So the Kastles get on the board. Sandra doing a nice job on his serve. Yeah, his experience in team tennis was playing college tennis at the University of Tennessee. They got to the finals as a team his freshman year in 2010. Boy, that's a big serve. And right down the tee.
Yeah, that lefty nightmare serve that swings away from your opponent. Let's keep in mind, this is cumulative scoring, and if the Freedoms can somehow win this set, and we go into extra time, depending on the lead or the score. We'll get to that when it happens, though. Let's not confuse our own selves. That's big forehands there from Tennis Sandgren.
Yeah, that's what these baseliners do. They spar from the back until they can get that moment, that time, to get inside the baseline, and that's when you can do some serious high percentage damage. Could hurt.
That could hurt. I love that Madison Brengel's the one telling Murphy Jensen what maybe tennis should do.
each time he's needed it, he's found a good first serve. And that's a sign of a clutch server. Yvonne Lindell always talked about serve percentage. He said, well, serve percentage is important, but I'd rather know my serve percentage when the score is even, or I'm down a break point, or it's 15-30. You know, the key moments. What kind of service percentage do you have then?
Oh, no.
Oh, it's in.
I think that is a good home call for the Freedoms tonight, because I was looking at that line.
3-2.
So again, the electronic line scoring, how much that could have helped, just to ease the mind of the player, whether it's in or out, they can get on with the point. Great tennis.
So 20-16, and now the pressure shifts to Tennis Sandgren.
Yeah, when you hear that Billie Jean, when you hear Philadelphia Freedoms, yes, it was written by Elton John
for Billie
Jean.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no joke.
Yeah, he recorded that during the, I know that he was recording an album, I think it was the Brown Dirt Cowboys album session.
She plays literally every single point, every single night. That's so great.
The intensity does not wane.
I tell you, it's amazing. She's literally one of the most amazing people I've ever been around in my whole life. I mean, there was one time where I said to Billie, when are you gonna take a vacation? When are you gonna take some time off? And she's like, but Renee, and you know, then we started talking about her 70th birthday. This was years ago, and she said, yeah, but I have so much more to do.
Ooh, did not miss by much. That, yeah, you hit it well.
It's just, there's some people in the world that sort of sit back on their laurels and, you know, say, I've done enough in the world. Billie Jean King is not one of those people. It's like, what else can I do? What else can I? And but it's not on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. Whoa, look at that bounce. That was flying off there.
All right, 2 games all. We'll take a short break and come back. Coming down the finishing stretch, the Kastles and the Freedoms.
A tennis league built on innovation, passion, and respect moves into the digital video age. For the first time, fans around the globe can stream every match from the World Team Tennis season on our new channel, WTT.tv, completely free. Watch major champions and rising stars come together to compete for the coveted King Trophy.
So many great points in this one.
This summer, watch the entire season at WTT.tv, presented by Geico.
As people who love the outdoors, we know what we stand for. We stand for fish, wildlife, and conserving the places they call home. We stand for the traditions we inherited and that we must pass on. We stand for great gear, fair prices, expert service, and memorable experiences. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we stand together for you.
Now the XS Tennis Village here in Chicago. 12 outdoor courts, 11.
Yeah, it's incredible, Leaf. I can tell you, I was here when they put the old spade in the ground.
Yeah, pretty excited. They have 12 indoor, 11 outdoor, 4 red clays. So a wonderful facility.
And they have small courts for the kids as well. It's an incredible tennis facility. One of the best in the country now. There's no doubt about that.
And here in Chicago, you need indoor courts.
Oh, yeah.
And again, here's more confusion about this call.
There was no call, first of all. There was no call. The crowd was dead silent. You're saying there was a call? Hold it back. It's right on the line. You're calling it out. You agree with the call? You actually agree with that? That's why it was so late that you were overruling it, right? It was that delayed, so you thought it was in, so you were definitely there to overrule it, right? Man, it's like, it's kind of ridiculous at this point.
Okay, so here's the replay. Let's take a look at why he's complaining. So this ball right here, he gets up. Let's take a look at, oh, that looked like it skipped off the line and it was called out, which is why we're having an argument. But you know what? Oh, this is just, all this does is just make the argument for electronic line calling even better for Hawkeye and for all of us in the future.
Yeah, and obviously the players want to get going just so they can play. Now, will that one call cost Sandgren? Probably not, but it certainly adds to the frustration.
Well, it would have helped to be love one instead of one love. You know, because that's the difference right there. Now it's 2 love and there's no pressure on Kevin King now.
Yeah. You're mentioning how quite a few Kings in the league. Evan King plays for the Orange County Breakers. Vanya King plays for the Springfield Lasers.
That's great playing.
And you like the forehand and then in. Ready to knock off that floating reply.
Appreciate tennis putting our
microphone
back
yeah.
together there. Thanks, bud.
Likes to keep things tidy back there.
Yeah.
And that was called a fault from the chair. Yeah, that's in.
I tell you that the people that will love the electronic line calling the most are the central umpires, because they're the ones that get yelled at. Even if the linesman makes a mistake, you can't yell at the linesman because the linesman can't do anything. The chair umpire is the only one that can change a decision, and so there'll be a lot less yelling at them. He's got it.
Yeah, and able to finish. Boy, that was some point. And again, the attacking tennis was very solid, and despite Sandgren's best efforts, the Freedoms advanced to 3-2. Yeah, King, a 2-time All-American, Georgia Tech. Mentioned that he majored in mechanical engineering.
Smart young man.
Obviously, lets are in play. So the miss hit by King started the point. Yep, good solid reply from Sandgren.
Well, it's really been indicative of this whole entire night that every single set has been so tight. And to be honest with you, if this is the WTT final, it's kind of set the tone that's going to be a good one.
Yeah. But you just wonder.
It's just one set that was a blowout. That's really the difference in this match.
I mean, if DC does lose, they would drop to 6-4, and San Diego's at 5-4. Springfield and Orange County at 4-5, so plenty to play for. And San Diego is at home for most of their remaining matches, where DC is on the road for their final 3.
Which is tough.
0-1.
Of course, the Freedoms, if they get the win, would be at 9-1, and it just looks like that's almost a lock to at least be in the championship. Maybe not first place, but
100%. I'll guarantee you right now today, they will be in the final.
yeah, first or second place. But
they're just too good in every department.
Yeah.
And that's the key. I mean, you don't have to be great in every department. You just have to be really good in every department, and they are really good in it. There's not a single part of their team that is weak.
Yeah.
There's not one.
It's losing them sets by a
By
big
a
margin,
boatload.
yeah.
Exactly, which is the key. I mean, the key to the Washington team that was so successful for so many years was that, you know, the job was to win every set. Didn't matter how you won it, just win every set. And I feel like the Philadelphia Freedoms team have the same mentality. They're not necessarily trying to blow you out, they just want to win every set.
Yeah. And it's a great philosophy. Just keep it close, pass it down to your teammate in the next set, and by the end, you have a lead, you hang on to it. Look at Billie Jean.
Every point.
I think Billie Jean has a real sense that this could be her year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
12 years since the Freedoms won the title.
And trust me, I've had to hear about it a little bit.
Yeah, they've had some disappointing seasons, and this has really been a special one so far. And Kevin King is trying to make it even more special, closing out this one. Yeah, and I mean, he was in a position that he didn't really have to make a great volley. You know, I mean, Sanger was way far back in the court. So as we mentioned at the top, Philadelphia Freedoms, the home team tonight. And there's the Elton John anthem.
I did hear the call come early. He called it early, just didn't hear it.
That ball came off pretty flat off King's strings. It's not enough over the top.
that shot. I mean, that volley from Kevin King, the first one, was not a good one. It was sitting there. I mean, Tennis Sandgren should have run up and absolutely crushed that forehand. Instead, he chose to try and get a little fancy with it, and you can't play that type of a game with a guy who's comfortable at the net.
Sandgren has been getting the best of these baseline exchanges. Obviously trying to keep King away from the transition game, away from the net.
Just snatched at that backhand volley. The key when you come into the net there is to actually slow everything down and be really calm. You know, on the baseline, you want to have great footwork and you want to be able to have good racket head speed. But when you come to the net, you actually want to slow everything down. Less is more.
Yeah.
And he tried to do too much with that backhand volley.
Yeah, reduce the amount of excess movement and just let the rocket and the arm lean on the ball.
The rocket or the racket?
The racket. Just lean on it, but also hit that volley, you know? But you're right, he was a little bit rushed, just looked out of sequence, out of time. It's a pressure moment for Sandgren. Down 4 games, 2 points all, down 3-4 in the set.
Oh boy, here we go, match point. This is it. And not only does he have a 1, but he has 2.
And that's it. The Freedoms take the set and they take the match. And they continue their winning ways. What an amazing season it has been for this team.
Well, I tell you what, again, if this is the final, if the Kastles can find a way to get that second spot, because I can guarantee you the Philadelphia Freedoms will be in the lead at the end of this season, this will be a great final. There was 1 set and 1 set only that was a blowout, and that was the women's doubles, but everything else was hotly contested with a lot of 3-all points, which why we love World Team Tennis. It comes down to 1 or 2 points here and there, and it did again tonight.
Yeah, there's confirmation of the numbers. I mean, and Kastles won a couple of sets, but they just didn't do it by enough of a margin. You know, both those sets were 9-point tiebreak sets. So they weren't really able to create any deficit at all. So the Freedoms, boy, they are rock solid from top to bottom, and that score shows it. Here's updated standings now. At the very top, the Freedoms, you have to feel like they're going to be playing for the King Trophy this year at 9-1. I mean, there are only 4 matches left, so they're in a good position. The worst they could do would be 9-5. I mean, San Diego, they have a match in hand against the Kastles. They could be 6-4, so we'll see what happens.
Certainly an interesting situation now for the number 2 teams.
Yeah, pretty exciting times, and we're just going to try and grab Kevin King before the teams head out to celebrate this win. The New York Empire, how about that 0-9? You know, a couple of close matches, 2 super tie breaks. And the Empire, that season could have looked so different for them. But Kevin King is the one who did such a great job down the stretch. The Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech. Kevin, congratulations. You closed it out 5-3. Produced some nice tennis.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a good night for the team. They did a good job giving me a lead. And I was able to go out there and play my game and pull it out.
Kevin, how does it feel to go into the last set? I mean, they put you in the last set every single time, but is it nice to have a lead? But is that pressure on you to make sure you get the win?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, we have a great team, and they just want me to go out and play my game. We've all just been working hard, getting better throughout the season, and we're able to finish out most of the matches.
How nice was it to, I know you're a Philadelphia Freedom team, but how nice was it to actually come here to Chicago and bring World Team Tennis to a new audience?
It was incredible. This was an awesome environment out here. The fans were great. They really love the tennis here. So hopefully they'll be able to get a team here in the near future.
And Kev, how much does it help you, having played college tennis, coming into this type of an environment?
It helps a lot. I was able to play 4 years at Georgia Tech. I love the team atmosphere. Any chance I get to play on a team, I love doing it.
Hey, does it help that you're a mechanical engineer when you're on the tennis court?
Yeah, sometimes it does. You know, sometimes you can overthink things, but yeah, I think it helps.
Hey, Kev, bottom line is that you're way smarter than the both of us put together.
I don't know about that.
Congratulations, Kevin, and congratulations to your team. You guys could be playing for a trophy this year.
I hope so. That's the goal.
Pretty exciting times. Congratulations. Congrats. Kevin King closes it down against Tennis Sandgren 5-3. Well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And a little bit of celebration time for the Freedoms. They take out the Kastles 23-18. We'll come back and wrap things up from Chicago.
Oh, you're hitting them good, Jay. Have you ever played golf in the snow before? Oh my goodness.
I'm just going to try to practice for all my life and see what it ends up to. Hopefully I'll be good enough to go to the tour.
Good shot, Big J.
World Team Tennis is back for another season of hard-hitting action on ESPN.
So many great points in this one.
July 21st, the New York Empire head to the nation's capital to take on France's Tiafoe and the 6-time WTT champion Washington Kastles.
Incredible point.
Then, on August 5th, the league's two best teams battling out in the championship final for the King Trophy. Don't miss New York Empire versus Washington Kastles, July 21st, and the WTT final, August 5th, presented by Geico.
I woke up in Memphis and told people about Geico. How they could save 15% or more, but by just calling or going online to geico.com. Sorry, are you gonna... Every time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Give me a racket and watch me go. Because I won't come back the same.
Sometimes I'll come back with scratches and scrapes. Or with stories of great shots and close shaves. Of wins for the history books. And of losses I'll never forget.
But watch me smile.
Say good game.
And put my racket away for now, but not for good.
Because I'll have seen what I can do.
And I know greatness
is waiting.
Sign up with Net Generation, official youth tennis of the USTA.
A tennis league built on innovation, passion, and respect moves into the digital video age. For the first time, fans around the globe can stream every match from the World Team Tennis season on our new channel, WTT.tv, completely free. Watch major champions and rising stars come together to compete for the coveted King Trophy.
So many great points in this one.
This summer, watch the entire season at WTT.tv, presented by Geico.
World Team Tennis has been brought to you by Wilson. Get the best gear in the game. By DecoTurf, official tennis court surface of World Team Tennis and the official surface of the US Open since 1978. By Forevermark. Less than 1% of the world's diamonds are worthy of the Forevermark inscription. Forevermark, a diamond is forever. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. Now a very special evening of tennis in Chicago, the Windy City, playing host to the Freedoms and the Kastles. Before we go, a chance to catch up with Craig Carden, the coach of the Freedoms. Congratulations, Coach. You guys lost the opening set, bounced back and won 2 and 3. How did you feel your lineup worked out tonight?
Well, you know, Leif, what we do is we just go with our strength, and we always finish with Kevin at the last, and he's done a great job as our closer. And of course, Sloane and Taylor coming out in the doubles and playing well. That was great. And you know, unfortunately, Sloane, I think she got more nervous playing at team tennis than she does at a Grand Slam. But you know what? She puts enough points on the board that helped us win tonight. We were happy to have her back.
Yeah, Craig, I've sort of spoken about this all night. How nice is it to bring World Team Tennis to a city like Chicago that is so desperate for more tennis, and how great was the atmosphere? Even though you're the Philadelphia team, it felt like you were playing at home tonight.
No, it really did, Renee. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, as you know, Renee, I mean, the history of Chicago tennis goes way back, and they loved their tennis here. And great job by Kamal Murray and XS Tennis Village for putting on such a fine venue and actually making it feel like Philadelphia's home.
Hey, Craig, congratulations, and boy, you put yourself in a nice position at 9-1. Boy, I get a sense you guys could be playing for the King Trophy. Pretty exciting times for Philly.
Well, thanks a lot, Leif. We hope so.
Yeah, all right, good luck, Craig.
All right, thanks, Renee.
Best of luck down the road to Craig Carden and the Philadelphia Freedoms. Boy, what a brilliant night of tennis. The mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, here was, as well as a number of patrons and supporters of this fine XS Tennis Village. And of course, World Team Tennis and Billie Jean King. So the Freedoms take out the Kastles 23-18. They're in first place by a long way. For Renee, I'm Leif. We'll say so long, everybody. The Freedoms take the set and they take the match. And okay. Well, the Philadelphia, here at the XS Tennis Village, the Philadelphia Freedoms and the DC Kastles. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to action later in the set. Opening event of the evening is the mixed doubles, the Freedoms and the Kastles. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to action later in the set. Yeah, man. Okay. The Philadelphia Freedoms and the, the Philadelphia Freedoms and the Washington Kastles squaring off here in Chicago at the XS Tennis Village. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to action later in the match.